Hey, I'm Mark Hunter, the Sales Hunter, and I'm going to share with you right now 10 strategies that really how to prospect using the phone, best practices. And it comes right out of my online learning platform. We've been named as one of the top 10 sales training platforms in the world. Hey, I want you to check it out. Anyway, let's get into this. Number one, use it. That's right, use it. One of the biggest things that I find between those who have success with the telephone and those who don't have success is the fact that they just aren't using it. The telephone is like a muscle, and you've got to use it enough to get into the repetition. I'm going to go through 9 more things here that are going to help you get in the repetition and make it happen. Number 2, it's all about the first 5 seconds. The first 5 seconds of your phone call is what's going to determine whether or not that prospect is going to engage with you. When you sit there and waste it by saying, oh, how was your weekend? How's the weather there? What's going on? You know what you're doing? You're telling them that you are a salesperson and you're trying to bug them. You know what's interesting? You may think you're softening them up, but no, you're actually turning them off. Best practices, you don't use opening lines like that. And that first 5 seconds is all about engaging the prospect, which is number 3. Engage the prospect. You have to engage the prospect. How do you engage the prospect? You make it about them. You've got to engage them with a question or a statement that is going to be relevant and pertinent to them. Number 4, it's not about you. I said earlier, you got to make it about them. You do have to make it about them because it's not about you. When you sit there and say, oh, we've done this or we've done this, hey, that's a qualifying statement. That's a confirming statement. That's fine. But it does not come in the first 15 or 20 seconds of the phone call. No. You have to set yourself up to earn the right to share that. You don't come out of the chute sharing that. Number 5, voicemail. Use voicemail, but don't use voicemail to give them enough information to make a decision without you. You use voicemail to create interest. Voicemail to create interest. Extremely critical here on this one. Because what you want to do is you want to create enough interest. Now, are they going to call you back? They're not going to call you back. You know that. But what you're doing is you're creating enough interest so the next time you call, the next time you connect with them, they may just take your call. Number 6, you have to be prepared with 3 questions and 2 statements. Here's the situation. You want to have a prospecting phone call where you're able to engage the prospect. You're able to engage them in a series of questions. That means you've got to have a series of questions you can ask. And you probably also have to have some statements that you can share. So what you do is you want to make sure you have 3 questions, relative, pertinent to them, and that are going to engage them in at least 2 statements. What does this do? This helps give you the confidence that you are going to be able to carry on a conversation with them. If you only have a defined script and that's all you're working from, you're going to run out. You're never going to develop confidence. You see, best practices in using the telephone means that you may have a script to give you ideas and prompts, but it's all about you engaging with them, which takes us to number 7, your personality. Your personality has to come through in that telephone call. Now, here's the whole thing. It's not way off the wall. No. Don't be off the chart, exuberant. But do use your personality, much like I'm using my personality here. You see, what is it doing? It's helping you to stay engaged with me. Use your personality. Number 8, follow-up. You've got to have a follow-up process because let's not kid ourselves. It really isn't going to happen with one phone call. It isn't going to happen with one voicemail. It isn't going to happen with one email. You see, best practices using the phone involve having a follow-up process. And you're coming at them at a regular sequence. You've built out a cadence, you've built out a flow, and you're sticking to it. Number 9, frame of mind. I'll tell you what, the frame of mind you have going into the call is going to determine what you get coming out of the call. I'm always amazed. I will take the salesperson who has the great attitude. They will always have much better sales results using the phone than the person who, they may have the skill, they may have the technique, they may have all the talking points, But if they don't have the right attitude, it's amazing. You give me the person with the right attitude, because here's what happens. You listen better. You listen better. You engage better. And the other person knows that. Besides, if you were on the other end, would you want to be talking to a wall or would you want to be talking to a human being? I think you want a human being that's going to engage you. That is your frame of mind. Number 10, don't stop. Hey, let's not kid ourselves. You can have days, you can have hours, you can have even weeks where phone calls aren't going anywhere. But don't stop. Don't stop. Because at the same time, you can have periods where you're having incredible success on the telephone. You see, what happens too many times, and this is probably, yes, it's number 10 on the best practice list, but it should always be number 1 because here's the situation. I see people, what they do is they stop. They make a couple phone calls and they stop. You see, what happens is they either call one person once or twice, so I didn't get them, so they must not be interested. No, don't stop. Or they may call 100 people on their prospecting list and they're not getting the results they want, so they stop. Either way, you don't stop. You keep it going. Hey, I've got tremendous content like this and a whole lot more out on the Sales Hunter University. You've got to jump to it. You've got to go to it. You've got to get engaged. We put a new masterclass out every month. And the phone prospecting one is out there right now. I want you to grab it. Hey, how do you find it? You go to thesaleshunter.com and you'll see up at the top, University. That's where you're going to find it. Hey, I'm Mark Hunter, the Sales Hunter. We put new videos out like this every week. So hey, if nothing else, subscribe and participate in the learning I provide you. Great selling.